All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Philippinske Yelpasampun Inorga FHS DigiSeminar. I'm Renz, an FHS volunteer and a member of FHS Team Newbie in Norway. Together with me is Abby, a fellow FHS volunteer and Newbie in Norway member.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for the introduction, Rans. Hi, everyone. I hope you're ready for our informative DEJA seminar. But before we start, a short introduction about the Philippine Ski Pisang Fund in Orge. FHS is an NGO that provides information, drives, and awareness campaign to benefit and help migrant groups in Norway gather the information they need for navigating life here in Norway. So, in today's DEGI seminar, we'll be discussing how to get a study permit here in Norway.
Yeah, Avi. So some master's programs have already begun their application period and application for bachelor programs in Norwegian colleges and universities will begin in February 2025. But why are we starting now, Avi? Why are we discussing it now when it's so far ahead pa? Next year pa siya.
Oh, it's very important na before it started mas early na prepared ka na ba? Right,
Mm.
friends?
Yeah, because actually the processing time for the recognition of education from outside Norway, which is one of the most important steps in
Yeah.
getting a study permit, it takes 6 to 9 months. So it's best to get started with the process as early as now. So yeah, if you want to be a student in Norway by this time next year, this Digi seminar will guide you through the necessary steps to secure your study permit and set you on the path to a successful start. All right. So, yeah, Abby, it's going to be a seminar rich with information on how to get a study permit in Norway. But before we begin, we at the Philippinske Hjelpesamfund i Norge are here to guide, help, and hold your hand to the best of our capabilities and provide information that may help you integrate into Norwegian society. We are not affiliated with local government agencies such as Utdanningsdirektoratet, NAV, Arbeidstilsynet, uh, IMD, and others. However, everything that will be presented today is based on information from reputable sources. In this regard, some information may or may not be applicable to you. Therefore, your discretion is necessary. Having said that, we will be joined later on by two guests who are already students here in Norway and who will share their first-hand experience of obtaining a study permit. So, we hope our viewers will stay tuned for that.
I'm looking forward to hearing from our guests later, Renz. And to make the DEGI seminar interactive, we would love to hear from you, our dear viewers, as well. Please write down all your questions and greetings in the comment section, and we'll address them as we go through the program.
Yes, we'd love to hear your thoughts, and I think now we can go right to the discussion of our topic. So, yeah, on our screen, you can see an overview of our discussion for today, and we'll get started with the first one. What is a study permit? All right, so a study permit is required for those who want to take a bachelor's degree or higher education in Norway. With a study permit, you can attend a university college or university, a vocational school, a school of upper secondary education, a religion or belief based school, or a folk high school in Norway. So, yeah, it's just up to you what kind of school you want to choose. So, next, what are the requirements for applying for a study permit? So the first thing is you must have been accepted into a Norwegian school, like a university, for example. And next, you must have enough money to live on during the period you are going to study in Norway. This means at least 13,700 Norwegian kroners per month or 151,690 Norwegian kroners for the entire academic year. Next, or third, you need to have proof that you have paid or can pay for the tuition fee. And fourth, you need to have a place to live in Norway. Fifth, the circumstances in your home country must indicate that it is likely that you can return home when you have completed your studies. And last, yeah, you need to pay an application fee of 5,400 Norwegian kroners to UDI. Yep, so those are the basic requirements for getting a study permit. However, we have some notes that you need to remember. Take note that it is UDI or UDI who will grant a study permit, not the university. So your application must be processed through UDI. Regarding proof that you can support yourself while you study, it's not necessary to have the actual amount in your bank when you apply. So that means you don't need to have 150,000 kroners
Oh,
in your bank account.
that's a lot.
This, yeah, I know. It's nakakalula.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's another way that you can show proof of financial capacity to support yourself. If you have already been offered a part time job in Norway, the income from this work can be considered as uh, proof for your living cost. And it's important to note that if you are granted a study permit, you will also be able to work for up to 20 hours a week while you are studying and full time during holidays.
Wow. I think that's what a lot of people worry about actually. The amount of money you need to have in the bank in order to get a study permit. Right, Renz?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I don't come from a rich family myself, so this was such a worry for me. But knowing that I can get a part-time job, which can at least be considered as evidence of financial capacity, was such a relief, really.
Yeah, it's really good to hear, but I think it's important to note from this also that before you can start applying for a permit, you need to secure a place in school study program first. So it's best to contact the school you want to apply first and find out how you can be admitted into the program that you want.
Yeah, that's right, Abby. I was actually very surprised about this. I thought yeah, I need to get a study permit first. But of course, you need a university first to accept you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in order to find the right program and school for you, we recommend these websites. So, the first one is studyinnorway.no. This is good for finding study programs that are taught in English. And the next one is samordnaopptak.no for finding study programs in all Norwegian universities or vocational schools throughout Norway. So this means that these are courses taught in Norwegian. It it includes courses taught in Norwegian as well.
Mm. Thanks for the recommendation, Renz. That actually brings us to the second question for today. So, our question is what are the requirements for applying a Norwegian school? So, the general basis for admission to universities and university colleges in Norway is called Higher Education Entrance Qualification. Each country has different requirements based on the GSU list. You can check your country's requirement on the Norwegian Directorate of Higher Education's website. So, today we will only be discussing the requirements for application coming from the Philippines, and those are: first is the proof of English language proficiency, such as TOEFL or IELTS. However, if you completed a bachelor's degree taught in English, this covers the English language requirement already. So you will only need to get certification from your university that your mode of instruction is English. So, in terms of education requirements, if you finish your education in the Philippines after 2018, you need high school diploma plus a 1 year university education in academic subjects. And if you finish your education in the Philippines before 2018, you need high school diploma plus a 2 year university education in academic subjects. And it should be documented. Norwegian language proficiency is also a must. Some universities will accept BN, but a lot require at least B2. So this can be documented by taking the Norskprøve, Norwegian language proficiency test, for example.
Yeah. So luckily for me, Abby, in terms of the English language requirement, my university provided me a certificate that my bachelor's program was taught in English. So I don't need to take the TOEFL or the IELTS anymore. But I think they have higher requirements of education for those who are not part of the K to 12 program. For example,
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't part of the K to 12 program, and I think they really consider the amount of time that you were in school, not just like the
Mm.
level that you achieved. They consider also how long you were in school. How about you, Abby? Are you part of the K to 12 program?
Yeah, luckily I'm part of the K to 12. Yeah, I'm the second batch of K to 12. So yeah.
I see, I see. So yeah, you just need 1 year university education. But yeah, have you started your process already?
Oh yeah, I started last July. I
Mm-hmm,
already passed all the documents in Nukot. Yeah, because
mm-hmm,
it takes
mm-hmm.
6 to 9 months. Yeah, that's a very long waiting time.
Mhm, mhm. Ikesant, yeah. So if you want to study in Norway, you need to start planning as like a
Yeah,
year earlier. Yeah. And of course, you have to get the B and B2 from the
yeah.
Norskprøve. That takes a while too.
Mm,
Okay, but anyway, back to our topic. For a foreign education to be considered valid in Norway, like for example, you had your high school and bachelor degree in the Philippines or in another country, for it to be valid in Norway, it must be recognized by the Norwegian Directorate for Higher Education, or HOKODIR. The requirements for recognition of higher education depends upon the country where the applicant received their education from. But today we'll be discussing the requirements of someone from the Philippines because this is something we're already familiar with. So, for someone from the Philippines, first you need the applicant's transcript of records needs to be sent in a sealed envelope directly from your college or university to the Norwegian Directorate of Higher Education and Skills. Please take note that the sender must be your university and not you or your representative, like a member of your family. So, actually, this was quite a hard thing to coordinate for me
yeah,
because I'm already here in Norway. So, it's like I had to talk to my university. Is it possible that you can send my documents to Nokut or to Hokodir? And yeah, it's luckily for me, my university is familiar with the process, and they allowed me to use the university's name. When I was at the post office, I just listed the sender as the university. Yeah, but yeah, you have to also keep track of the parcel because on the
yeah.
Hokodir website, it doesn't update if Hokodir or Nokut has received your documents already. And for 1 month, I was really worried because I thought my document was lost because I don't have the tracking number for DHL. And it was a nightmare to contact LBC back in the Philippines and ask, "Do you know where my parcel is?" Yeah. But that's on my part. How about you, Abby? Was it easy to send your documents over to Nokut?
Yeah, it's not very hard because my brother is the one who process it, and I also asked my school to follow the instruction that they will be the one to really send it directly to the Nukot. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really lucky. My university said that my representative should pick up the documents and then they should send the documents themselves. So that was hard. And also take note, it's expensive to send the documents. I
Yeah,
think
it's
I
very expensive. I was shocked, like
right.
it's just a piece of paper and it costs, oh my god. So you should
Mm,
also be ready with your documents and financially.
yeah. I think I spent around like 500 kroners just to get just for the sending of the documents.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've shared some anecdotes for now. For the next requirement for the recognition of your education, you need to submit your diploma or degree certificate in the original language, in this case, Filipino, and also send in a copy translated into English. And for the translation, you can't just translate it yourself. You need an official translator. For the next requirement, you need an upper secondary or high school diploma or certificate of graduation. And of course, valid ID and proof of name change if you have changed your name. Yeah, so that's it for recognition of foreign higher education.
Next, it's also possible to get a tertiary vocational education recognized. So this means vocational education above high school or upper secondary level. This recognition can be used for entering fagskule, for example. These are the requirements for application from the Philippines. First is a document confirming completion of your tertiary vocational education. This may be a certificate or a diploma. Second is the transcripts of grades or report card from your tertiary vocational education. And the final certificate from upper secondary school or high school. So take note that if your document are not in English, then they need to be translated by an authorized translator or an embassy.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I mentioned. Now, let's
Mm.
talk about something a lot of aspiring students worry about. What are the costs for getting a study permit? How much is the tuition fee? Do I need to show proof that I have a certain amount of money in the bank, or what we call in the Philippines show money, which you can see on the slides already? We have already shared it. So, yeah, unfortunately, last year in 2023, Norway changed its rules for international students. International students now have to pay tuition fee in order to study in Norwegian universities. So, yeah, what are the costs? For a study permit application, you must pay 5,400 Norwegian kroners for the application fee. And what are the proofs, financial capacity proofs that you need to show? You first must have enough money to live on during the period you are going to study in Norway. So, as I mentioned, this means at least 13,790 Norwegian kroners per month or 151,590 Norwegian kroners for the entire academic year. You must also have money to cover tuition fees or document in your application that your tuition fees for the academic year have already been paid. So, how much are the tuition fees in Norway? Well, the tuition fees vary based on a degree program. It can be between 130,000 to 200,000 kroners or more. It really depends on the degree that you want to take. So for example, for me, I'm aiming for like a barnehagelarer or a kindergarten teacher. I think the tuition for that is around 165,000 or 200,000 kroners. Yeah.
Wow,
Nakakadula, as I mentioned.
wow,
How
that's a
about
lot of
you?
money.
Yeah, I know, I know. How about you, Abby?
um, I'm still waiting for the uh my nukot, and then but I'm deciding to like take up master's degree, or I don't know. It's so
Mm-hmm.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do I really need to have all that documented in my bank account? And how can I provide proof for that, Rents?
Yeah. So if you're one of the lucky people who has that much money in your bank account, a bank statement functions as a proof of financial capacity. So bank statement, you just request this from your bank. In my experience, you just send a letter to the bank manager and you say you need this bank statement from this period, for example, like for the whole year. And then they will give you the bank statement. As for the living costs, as I mentioned, it can be covered if you have proof that you have a part time job, such as an employment contract, maybe, or a job offer. Luckily, when you get the study permit, you can work for up to 20 hours a week. As for the tuition has to be deposited to the Norwegian school you have been admitted to, and they will provide you with the proof, such as a confirmation letter that you will submit to UDI for the study permit. So for the tuition fee, this should not be in your bank account. This should be in the bank account of the school that you are going to study in, and they will provide you the letter that they already have the amount needed for your tuition fee for the whole year, for example. But if we go back to the previous slide, you could pay for just one, for just one, what do you call it? One semester. So, for example, 68,000 or 69,000 for the autumn semester and 83,000 for the spring semester. But if you just pay for one semester, you still need to have proof that you can pay for the next semester. So, yeah. Okay. And of course, it's also possible to get a sponsor for your studies. I know some people who are, lucky that there are some Norwegian people who want to sponsor their studies. Or also, it could be, a school. Like, because this is also applicable to students who are outside of Norway. If, for example, your school has a scholarship program, or yeah, and they have communication with the Norwegian universities, I think it can work as well because they can sponsor your studies. Okay, but your sponsor will need to provide proof of financial capacity and also deposit the amount to cover tuition fees for your studies. Yeah.
However, it is possible to be exempted from paying the tuition fees. First, if you are exempted from paying tuition fees, if you are the foreign citizen and have worked or previously studied in Norway, or married to a Norwegian citizen, or closely related to someone in Norway, such as the family member of a permanent resident holder, have other strong ties to Norway, have come to Norway for political reasons, or have come to Norway for humanitarian reasons. And lastly, if you participate in a special educational programs, approve the HKDIR. However, regarding private schools, you should expect to pay tuition fees.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, before we move on to our next slide, maybe we can read some comments. Would you like to do that, Abby?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have here.
Oh,
Let's
hi,
see.
Rhea.
Hi, APC. Thank you so much. And of course, we have the ever supportive TL Zane. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have Echo Tuesday. This is really informative. Thank you, Echo. And Samantha.
Very
Very,
expensive, yeah. You should really expect that this is Norway.
yeah, nothing is cheap in Norway,
Yeah.
but nature is free.
Yeah.
And last, one of our viewers, heart, heart, heart. Thank you. Heart, heart, heart as well. Okay. So thank you to our viewers. If you have questions, please write them in the comments section. So yeah, a lot of students wonder if it's possible to get a scholarship or loan to study in Norway. So the Norwegian government offers no scholarship open to all international students, unfortunately. And in Norway, many Norwegians rely on the Norwegian State Educational Loan Fund, or Lånekassen, in order to fund their education. Foreign citizens can receive support to study in Norway from Lånekassen if certain conditions are met. So, what are these conditions? So, for the first one, if you are a foreign citizen but a permanent resident of Norway, you can get a loan. You are married to or cohabitating with and have children with a Norwegian citizen. You are the family member of an EEA citizen living in Norway, or you are in Norway for family immigration. But take note, the person you have been reunited with must either be a Norwegian citizen or a foreign national with a reason for residence in Norway other than studying. Next, you can also get a loan from Lånekassen if you have lived in and have had continuous full-time employment in Norway for at least 24 months immediately prior to commencing studies. You must have had a residence permit as an employee and paid tax to Norway during this period. So, yeah, if you have worked in Norway for 2 years, you can study for free if you are a foreigner. Next, have studied or completed studies corresponding to at least 3 years of full-time studies equivalent to 180 credits in Norway. Or you could be in protection or asylum.
I think we covered a lot today, Renz, from requirements for applying for a study permit to documenting financial capacity. For the second half of our program, we are lucky to be joined by two FHS volunteers who are already students here in Norway. They will be sharing their experiences going through the process of getting a study permit, as well as the challenges of a student life.
Yeah, that's true. So, that's right. For our first guest, we actually have a fellow volunteer of the Filipinski Yalpasampun Inarga. She is our lovely teammate, Novi. And
Yeah.
so, without further ado, welcome to our DigiSeminar this afternoon, Novi Lavesores.
Ah.
Hi, hello
Hi, Novi.
everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
guess.
Yeah, we can hear you, Novi.
Yeah,
So we are so excited that you're here with us today to share your experiences, Novi. So I just love to dive right into our first question. Or you want to introduce yourself to our viewers?
yeah, I can introduce myself first. So hello everyone. My name is Novi, and I came from the Philippines, and I have been living here in Norway for 2 years now,
Wow.
and then now I'm before, so I came here as an au pair, and now I'm a student, so I'm taking in additional education for me to be able to work here in Norway as a teacher. So I was yeah, so I graduated a teaching degree. I have a teaching degree in the Philippines, but I cannot work here as a teacher, so I needed additional education. So that's what I'm studying right now. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
it.
Thank you, Novi. So let's get started. So for
Okay.
our are you ready? For
Oh my god.
our For our first question is, how did you find a study program here in Norway? Do you have any tips for finding the right study
Um,
program?
yeah, but I guess you have already like discussed it earlier. But in my experience, so I was able to find the program I'm studying right now through what was it? Searching actually. But then first I was able to also like research some other programs, especially in English program through um study what was the website
Study
again,
in
study in
Norway.
Norway.
Study in
Yeah.
Norway.
Yeah, study in Norway.no. And then um also samud na optak. So samud na optak, so you can like search their programs, especially during application programs. So all the programs will be like, seen there. So, but most of the programs there are in Norwegian, I guess. So, yeah. And I was really, like, searching what opportunities, like, after being an au pair here in Norway. So, I discovered that there's like a kompletare lærerutdanning. So, for those who have teaching degree outside EU. Yeah. So
Yeah. Mhm.
I think like searching is my tip, and then if you are really motivated enough to, get a place or like study here in Norway, so you can just search and everything will be can be found in the internet actually. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's it.
Yeah, I see. But so, yeah, you mentioned in your case, the completerna, it's like a complementary education, right? So
Yeah.
you don't need to study a full bachelor's degree.
No, no, it's not a bachelor. It's like just yeah, it's a complementary. So if after being completed in this program, so it our diploma does not state that it's like a bachelor, so it's the program itself will be stated there because it's not bachelor. And
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, so from what I have said, it's only for those who have teaching degree from countries outside EU.
Mm-hmm. I
Mm.
see. Yeah, so because I'm thinking it, for example, if you want to work as a teacher, as a nurse, or an engineer
Mm-hmm.
in Norway, you don't necessarily have to redo the whole bachelor's degree. You can maybe take some complementary education.
Yeah, I think like teachers, nurses, engineers can take complementary education here in Norway. But you can only take the complementary education if you have that degree from your home country.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I know someone also who is not actually a bachelor degree in teaching in the Philippines, but she has the like uh, let she took the let exam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Licensed, yeah. So she's a
yeah,
licensed teacher in the Philippines.
she's a licensed teacher, but she was not graduate. She don't have the teaching degree. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, we know that we can do that in the Philippines, right? If we have like another bachelor and just take like a teaching
Oh
unit degree,
yeah, it's
teaching unit,
possible.
and then take the licensure exam. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can take if you only have that, then you can also take the complementary education.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. That's really useful because that's not something you can see on the website, for
Yeah,
example.
no,
That
no, no, it's not
Mhm.
stated there. But then if you get your like credentials, then you will be recognized as a teacher here if
Mm-hmm.
you have the like teaching unit from the Philippines
Mm.
and you are a bachelor graduate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. So there's two ways. So yeah, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the secret in Norway. Uh, you know, there's the written rules, and then there's the, you know, you will find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so
Mhm.
actually for that's thank you for that really great insight. For our next question, how long did it take you to prepare everything for your study permit application?
Oh yeah, so well, to prepare, so it took me 1 year and 5 months. So I actually like write it here. So 1 year and 5 months. So let me walk you through the
Oh.
timeline of my study permit application. So yeah, so I arrived here September 2022, and then like around January 2023, that was the time I was uh you know uh that was the time I found out the program, the complementary program, which like I have been searching by the time I arrived here. And then yeah, so after that one I applied the general recognition. So from Nukot. So that was April 2023 last year. So I applied only the general recognition, my bachelor, not my teaching degree. And then after that one, so I think they received my document April, and then I received the result August. So how many months? April, May, June, July, August. 4 months. So after 4 months, I got the result, and then after I got the result of my bachelor degree recognition, then I applied again for my teaching degree recognition. So I applied twice. So I paid twice. I paid DHL twice. So yeah, so August last year I applied for my professional qualification, and then on September last year I took the Norwegian test, the Norwegian language test. So and then November I got the result, and then October last year I requested a certificate that during my um when I studied my bachelor, so it was English as the language of communication. So I don't need to like take the, what do we call that one, IELTS. Yeah. So and then received the Nursprova result, and then November received the result from Hokodir. Oh my god. Hokodir, which is the my professional qualification. So it states there that I can be qualified as a mother tongue language teacher, but there is like no school here that is teaching like Filipino, right? So I still can't be like employed as a teacher. So it states there that I need like 2 years more. Or yeah, no, that was from the general recognition, but from my teaching degree, so it only states there that I cannot be applied as a normal teacher, only a mother tongue language teacher. And then on December last year, I applied for the program. So like from the by the time I was able to find out the program, so it took me like 1 year in applying it. And
Mhm.
it was I was very lucky because this program starts in January. So it means that the application starts on September and it usually ends October. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like hopeless by that time because the teach my professional qualification did not arrive yet, so it arrived November. But then last December I tried to like open the website again, if just being hopeful that they're still open, that the application is still open, and I saw that it's still open, and then I just huh, why is it why is it still open? So
Mm-hmm.
I just tried if it's really open, if it really works. So it worked. It worked actually. So I just submit my, because before that I already like submitted some documents like um the English certification, like the scan diploma, TOR, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
transcript, and then the only documents that I needed to submit that time is my NURSH Pruva result and my teaching qualification result. So I
Mm-hmm.
tried to upload that one, and the day after I applied, so I got accepted. So that was very lucky.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was last year December I applied the program. Then January I started studying at the university, and then February I applied for student study the study permit. So my application my study permit application was actually like behind. So I started
Mm-hmm.
already the I started already studying before I applied.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me anxiety for the whole 7 months, because they actually told me that it's not allowed to start studying without like
Yeah, that's.
like
Mm-hmm.
submitting the application for the student permit. So I was like, oh my god. But
Mm-hmm.
then my current permit that time, my au pair permit, will expire in September. So just this September it expired. So I was because I was even like planning to apply the study permit like 3 months before my au pair permit
Mm-hmm.
expired. But then I when I called the UDI, so they said no, it's not really allowed. Oh my god. So
Wow. So
Oh.
your
I
university
was so
didn't
like,
check that you had
mhm.
a study permit? Your university didn't check that you had a study
No,
permit? They just let you come to school?
well, uh, yeah, one of the requirements actually on this program from the university is a residence permit. So they don't necessarily like require that it's a study permit. So but then they require that you have an existing valid residence permit, and I have my au pair permit, yeah, that time. Yeah.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So that means that on this program too, the completare nell'area of learning, so you cannot apply if you don't have a residence permit here in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah,
So
so
it.
after I
Mm-hmm.
applied, I got my study permit last December too. So just like right after my au pair permit expired, so I got also approved. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's it. It took me like 1 year and 5 months.
Wow. Wow. Thank you
Amazing.
for sharing your personal timeline for us,
I will
especially for
never
us.
forget.
Yeah. Inspiring student also, and currently an au pair. There's a lot
Mhm.
of au pairs also that also after their au pair contract planning to be a student here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it will be very helpful for us, Novi. Thank you so much.
But
so
he.
we are really curious. So what are the biggest obstacle you face getting your study permit? What's your tip for getting over this obstacle?
Biggest obstacle. I think like this does not apply to everyone, because for me it was obtaining my language qualification, the Norwegian language exam. So for me, that's it because I applied a program that is taught in Norwegian. So I need to have like B2. So yeah, that was the biggest obstacle. And I can say that during my au pair years, I was more a student than an au pair. Like I spend the most of my free time, not free, but like outside au pair work. So I spend most of it studying the language alone. So yeah, it was difficult. It's still difficult actually.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's true. Like, um, it's something that we talk about in Nin in UB in our team all the time. That like
Hmm.
language really is the key. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think while because the documents are just waiting there, it's waiting to be
Yeah.
processed.
Right.
So I think while you are waiting for things for your permit, for the study program and things like that, it's best
Hmm.
to start mastering the language so that by
Yeah.
the
Right.
time yeah, by the time you apply for a study program or by the time you are ready to go to school, you already have that certification. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
agree.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so do you have any questions for Novi, Abby?
For now, wala na. Thank you so
Oh,
much, Novi.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
I think it will also be not everyone is going, I think, to also experience what I experienced because there are also like language. I mean, like English bachelors here. So yeah, it depends. But for me, I struggled a lot during that time.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, we can imagine. So shout out to the Philippines kay Alpesampun gratis Norsh ko
Yeah.
flaring.
So last year, like I was also part of the MLib program. So it's like I got committed like my every what do you call it, Saturday to like attending Spro Cafe. Yeah. So I was
Mhm.
really thankful also for FHS. Even though
Mhm.
I was not able to like got a you I got a place at GNO, but then I declined. Wow.
Mhm.
Because I was
Mhm.
also like studying at another language school that time, and then they have the same schedule. So yeah,
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
gave it to another member.
Mhm. Yeah, so luckily I got that place, charot.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
really helpful.
yeah, I think studying the for mastering Norwegian, it's very difficult to do it without a teacher, like just doing it by yourself. So it's best to really be a member of a Norse course, a class, or
Mm-hmm.
a study group, for example. Like find people who are as motivated as you are to learn the language, and I think that
Yeah,
will
I
be
agree.
easy. Yeah. So actually, for our last question for today, we'd love to learn more about your story, Novi. But we know you're a busy bee. So last question for today: what's it like being a student in Norway?
What it's like? It's great, but at the same time, it's challenging. You know, as a student, so you got to pay like cheaper collective transport for the collective transport. So actually, like student only pay like 400, around 400 kroners a month.
Wow,
So
that's like
that was really,
50%.
I'm happy about. And then what else? Mm, well, for now, I'm not, because I'm not yet like study. I mean like working as how other student work. So I'm still like staying here at my host family. So I just work with them. So I don't. I cannot say more about how challenging it really is. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but thanks so much for sharing your, your student life story and journey with us today,
Yeah.
Novi.
And
And
I'm
we,
great. I'm
Mhm.
great at pretending. Pretending na I understand everything during discussion.
No, but fake it till you make it, diba? Fake it
Yeah.
till you make it.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we really appreciate you giving us your time and sharing your insights. So yeah, we'll see you next on our next activities. Hain Pindag Bidere and
Hi,
Masalikiltil with the
Pinday.
studies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye. Yeah, that was a really great conversation with our fellow volunteer Novi. Don't you think so, Abby?
Yes, friends, I agree. And we are lucky to be joined by another APHS volunteer today who will talk about her experience studying here, her master's degree, and now PhD degree in Norway. Our next guest is.
Yeah, please welcome our team member, Shar.
Hi, Mishar.
Hello. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. Thank you so much for coming today, TL Shar or Shar. And I'm looking forward to learning more about your life as a postgraduate student in Norway. So, yeah, but can you tell us more about you? Would you like to introduce yourself to our guests?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Shah Zin. My full name is Misha, but you can call me Annie. And I'm currently a PhD candidate in Nord University in Lebanon campus. So it's like Nord. And I usually travel to Budor, which is again Nord. So quite cold, but a very, very scenic and nice places that I'm working. Yes, and I was also a master student before in University of Oslo. So yeah, and then I fell in love with Norway, so I wanted to study more, work more in my PhD. So yeah, I joined this university right now. Yeah, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
here for I was in Oslo for around nearly 3 years, but now I'm back here for around 6 months, which is interesting because now we are entering winter and I'm trying to used to it again.
Hmm. Yeah, because you mentioned that you were absent, or you went back to your home country, or was somewhere else, but now you're
Yeah.
back in Oslo, or in
Mm.
Norway. And you mentioned that because you fell in love with the country. And I think, a lot of people want to study. I think, for example, for me, I'm an au pair. I want to study in Norway because I want to continue my journey in the country because I fell in love with the country as well. And I think, a lot of our viewers are going to be like that today. So, yeah. Thank you for coming today, for sharing with us how you managed to come back to this cold but beautiful land.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we'll dive right in. Our first question is, how did you find a study program in Norway? And do you have any tips for finding the right study program?
Yes. Right. I think I should have told in my introduction, but I'm originally from Myanmar, so we're neighbors. And yes, for me, I have actually studied in other Asian countries like Singapore before. So going abroad and studying, it's for as a Myanmar citizen, right? It's a lot of like planning and risks, and as well as like a lot of costs. So you have to apply for different types of scholarship and things. So after I studied from in Singapore and then back to Myanmar, uh, uh, and I was thinking of doing my another master degree, which is in education, because I'm passionate about education, and my study in Singapore wasn't. So I looked through different, places at the time. So Norway wasn't like in the first, thing on my thoughts at the time. And I was looking at Australia, a lot of different places. And I came across this program. I mean, I didn't, I was listening to Novi, and I found this like, she was looking at looking at the website, study in Norway and different sources. But for me, it's a little bit different experience. So I just want to share this. So I actually found the program that I want to do. Like, exactly, this is the program I want to do. So so I found this in a program in University of Oslo. It's called higher education. So to be honest, there's only one program in Australia that is very similar to this program, and there's no other places that offers this program. But Australia in itself is a bit difficult for me to go because of different processes. But Norway is still difficult. However, I found that the application is very much easier compared to Australia at the time, of course, in my experience. And yeah, and I found this program very appealing, and I was looking at different things what I need to do, and it's the University of Oslo. I also check with them, email them, like what do I have to do as an international student and all these things. And at the end, I decided that I will apply for this program. And if they don't accept me, it's okay. I'll apply next next year until I find similar programs that I like. Fortunately, I was accepted at that time for the first application, and I got into the program. But the real challenge start when I start doing the study permit. So that's a whole story there. Yes.
Yeah, I see. So it was really lucky that you found some up study program that was exactly what you wanted. Yeah. So did you do that through like just Google searching, or did you contact your university to ask them where can I go, for example?
Right, right. So for me, I think um probably it was more on like searching on Google and that, and I was looking at through different keywords. I wanted to attend a program that is not just pedagogical, because education mostly either it's like leadership, political part of it, or pedagogical. But I want like something that covers like different parts of education, as such as economics, like even psychology and all these parts. And these are all situated included in this program. And I think that Google just came up with a couple of things, and I went inside and I saw this University of Oslo. It's a very niche program, and I think yeah, so of course I checked with my previous professor, who are not from University of Oslo or Norway, but through this program syllabus, because they are very transparent, like what they are going to teach, each syllabus, each reading list, and everything is written on the website at the time, so I could get a grasp of what I'm going to get through this and got into there. So I really liked it. And yeah, I mean primarily it's through Google search, I could say that. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks for that. Mhm.
thank, thank you for that sharing your personal experience, Shar. It would also be helpful for us as aspiring student. So let's go to our second question for today, which is how long did it take you to prepare everything for your study permit application?
Yeah, I think long, but also not. I would say it will be like two phases, because once I started preparing, as I said, it's not like particular program, but I know that I will be going abroad to study. So I already started preparing like my documents and like my IELTS test and everything, like notarial translation, everything in advance. So if I put these into a category, it will be another like 6 months. But if it is not included that, then like just for applying to the university and the study program, I mean, sorry, study permit, I don't think it's long. I think it's like maximum 2 months. Yeah, yeah. For study permit itself, it's quite a it's quite a how do I put it? It's also lack of my research at that time, probably because I was so excited about the program and I applied it. And then actually, yeah, I also applied to Australia one, but I didn't get it. I got rejected, and I got this one, so I was so excited to go in. And but I found out that Norway has quite different application process compared to what I was experiencing in Singapore or even in Australia. So uh, we the Norwegian embassy usually, right, when we apply for the study permits, it's through VFS. It's like an agent sort of where you also apply for your work permit or like visit permit. But the study permit office VFS wasn't available in Myanmar during that time. Now it is. When I was uh, applying for it in 2018, it wasn't there in Myanmar. So what I have to do is I have to fly to Thailand, Bangkok, and I will submit my documents there in person. So I didn't know that beforehand, right? So I was thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go through either embassy or like this VFS in Myanmar. That they were like, no, there's no VFS in Myanmar, and embassy doesn't handle these applications. They only do their consular services. So I was like, so where do I where do I submit my documents? So that's when
Yeah.
I find out that I have to go to Thailand, Bangkok to submit. It was quite scary to be honest because I'm not used to traveling at different places in that short period of time, and like it's different countries. So for example, if you're in your home country, you forgot one document, you just go back home and take it. But
Yeah.
if you forget anything, then you have to fly back and forth, which is not good. It's so costly. So I was so stressed that I have to bring every single thing, even things that they didn't ask for, in case if they ask. Then I bring everything in my luggage and all the original documents, all the copies, and go there and apply. But they were very, very friendly, the VFs, and so it's like quite a smooth process. So I stress over nothing, but it was quite a shock for me at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. When you mentioned VFS, yeah, actually, we have been discussing like how to apply for a study permit, like when you are in Norway. But for those who are, still outside Norway, who want to, come to Norway to study, you actually have to go through, as you mentioned, an embassy or a consulate or VFS. And
Yep.
luckily for us in the Philippines, we have VFS in the
Mhm.
Philippines, like in two of our biggest cities. So yeah, we don't have to go through taking a flight to another
Yes.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's great. Yes.
But so it's interesting to note that that's something that other for example, non-Filipinos have to consider, other foreigners have to consider. Where is the nearest Norwegian embassy or consulate
Mhm.
or agency that can process
Yes.
your application?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like the story is that as I was expecting the application after I submit the document. They said it's about a month or two, right? Or at least a month to process this, to get the approval and things. So I was like, okay, I booked like 5 days in Thai, in Bangkok after application. I just go around to, like distress. And then I went back. And the next day, they said it's approved. So I went back again.
Wow.
It took maybe like 6 days, actually, six
Hmm.
working days for the application to be approved by UDI, which is, I mean, relatively fast.
Hmm.
So I was quite glad, but also I was wishing maybe I should have stayed one more day there in
Hmm.
Bangkok. so that I don't need to
Yeah.
go back and forth. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to contrast like your experience with Novi's experience because she took like a year and 5 months to
Yes.
prepare for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, you mentioned for you, you took 6 months to prepare the documents, and then just in 2 months, you got your study permit or
Yes.
applying for the study program. Was it two
Yes. Yeah.
months? Yeah. And
Apply would be less than 2 months, to be honest. Yeah, because I
mm,
applied online, right? So we have to apply online first, then print out this application, and whatever the documents we have together will go to the VFS. In your case,
mhm,
maybe in Philippines, for me, Thailand, and submit all the documents. So once the submission date is the date like we officially applied, and then they will send the documents to UDI in Norway, I suppose, and they will look at the everything and either approve or decline. So usually it will take after submission, it will take about a month or something. But for my case, it's quite fast for some reason, and it's only takes 6 days. But some people could take longer. But I don't think it takes a long time. Yeah. So it's a process, I suppose. So for me, I think it's quite fast. Everything happens. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Yeah, it's just
mhm,
a shock
mhm,
after shock because I don't know
mhm.
anything about it before. So I wish everybody will try to talk many people. I think it's also my own experience that I don't talk enough with everyone. Like I wish I have this kind of community previously so that I will get more information and just check with different people in different experience because it wouldn't be the same for everyone as well. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's great that you mentioned that, talking to people because what I am like what I'm getting from this Digi seminar today is that what the website says can be very different from what people actually experience in real life. So it's important to talk to people who have been through the process so you can get
Mm.
like firsthand experience like of what they go through. Yeah. Yeah, but so that brings us to our third question for you, Shar. Actually, what was the biggest obstacle you faced in getting your study permit, and what's your tip for getting over this obstacle?
Mm. I think for me, the obstacle I think primarily is the that I have to fly to another country to apply, I suppose. I think that's like the main thing. Because to be honest, like going back and forth, right, is quite, I mean, like it's not like very ideal, but recently recall they already opened the VFS office in Yangon, which is in Myanmar, in my town. So it's good that now new people who wants to apply can go through this office without flying to Bangkok. But at that time, it wasn't available. Rather than that, I think it's quite a very smooth sailing process for me at least. And I was quite worried with everything. Oh yes, another thing is I mean, for me as a Myanmar citizen, I have to show the amount of money that I have in my bank account, right? And that's like that showcase that I can sustain in Norway without no other help or something. So yes, unless you got a scholarship, which is a great case. For me, it's not scholarship, but I do think it's a difference because during my time we don't need to pay any tuition fees in 2018. So we only need to pay like less than 500 kroner semester fees per semester. But we still need to have show this bank account of money that we can spend on our food and accommodation. Yes. Yeah. So that one, it's a little bit tricky because we usually the other, like Singapore, when we want to go, we just show whatever is in our home country bank, right? For example, I have like whatever Myanmar bank that I have money in, and I show the certificate to the immigration of the university, and they accept it. But at the time, Norway, you have to transfer the money to your student sort of account that they helps you open by the university, I suppose. Yes. Then after you reach to Norway, then when you have your own bank account, then they transfer their money from your student account to your own bank account. So it's like that. So yeah, it's a little bit of little more process that I didn't know as well, but it's like little more step, but it's not too complicated. So just transfer to the student account, go there and get the money back. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
something we mentioned actually that, the money should not be in your bank account in your home country, but it's should be transferred to, in your case, like a student account that
Mhm.
the university opened for you. Yeah. So
Yes, yes,
y- yeah, this is a new, it's a process you wouldn't know if you
yes,
didn't really do your research. Yeah.
yes,
Actually, I'm
yes.
curious about that. Um, was your master's degree application different from your PhD application because of you studied your master's in 2018 and then you're coming back now in 2023 maybe, and
Mhm, mhm.
the rules have changed last
Yes.
year. So what was your application affected?
I would say so. Like fundamentally, master and doctorate are always different, but it's probably more different than previously, possibly. Because for my master degree, usually the process goes through like at the time I look through their program, then I apply to Sogna Web, Sogna's Web. It's like a web portal that you go in and apply it for to the University of Oslo, and then I wait, right? And the university say, okay, it's approved, you are admitted. Then I go through this study permit process, and afterwards, I got the study permit, go to uh, Norway to study. But for PhD program, it's a bit different because PhD, I think it really depends as well. For me, I'm also employed in my department. So it's like a scholarship, but more like a stipend. So I have to, if I'm going through this route, I have to look through the vacancies each departments or universities are uh, uh, publishing on their website or like a job portal. And there are like PhD, candidates, stipendiates, so they will advertise it. And it's not always like, oh, this year you will have this PhD. It's not like that. Whenever there are like projects or like there are different things going on in the department, so there will be changes in that. So you have to be very careful. Always look through this job. It's like finding a job, to be honest, right? It's not like really study or finance study program, because for master you have like this semester this program will run. So that's like a designated time period, but not for PhD. So I found this, and of course I found also other things, but this is a program advertised by the North University, a faculty of digital education and earth. So yeah, this PhD like sort of like suit what I'm interested and my qualifications. So I applied for it. So application itself, let me think. Yeah, it's also like a job sort of application. So you have to write like your inspiration letter, and also your CV, your publication if there's any, and your project. I think the main thing they will consider is your experience as well as your project, like project proposal, because they give you like what they want from this PhD, but then you have to come up with your own idea of what kind of project you are going to do. So this project will be the basics of your PhD thesis, right? So it's a bit of more complicated, but also quite interesting. and yeah, so it's like that kind of process, and then wait again for the comment the department, they will form like a committee. So once the deadline hits, for example, we have like 100 people who apply, for example, right? Then they will form a committee to look at these 100 applications, and they will filter out who will be more suited for interviews. Then they will in, call in for the interview. Then they will choose one from there. So it's quite a different phases of application, and it could take up to, for my case, it could take up to like 6 months, plus or minus. So
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, I see. So you didn't oh yeah, I'm sorry, Abby, do you have any questions? I'm just like, yeah.
You can
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you didn't need to like pay tuition this time around. You didn't need to deposit to the university, for example, because basically you receive a grant from the
Yes.
university by working while you are, working on your proposal. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So as long as I'm employed in that department, so there will be like a monthly allowance at also the PhD sort of like allowance to for the project to go through. And so when I apply for the permit, it's not called study permit anymore. It's called employee permit, a work permit, right? Yeah. So I have to go through that. So I don't need to show like bank account or anything. I just need to show the contract that the university sent me that shows that I will be supported by the department with this. So that suffice the financial requirement. But the other things are quite the same, except maybe I let me think. What do I need to submit? That's so many things that I have to submit for this. Yeah, I think that's about the same as study program, but more on like the CV, I suppose, also have to be submitted at the time for the permit. Yeah, because they want to see if I have the qualifications or experience to carry out this project.
Yeah, I see. It's really interesting to compare, that experience from the, getting a bachelor or applying for a bachelor program in Norway versus a master's versus a PhD. Yeah. And yeah, Abby, do you have a question for Shar?
First, I would like to thank Shar for sharing your personal experiences, being financially prepared, mentally prepared, and also the documentation that need to be submitted, and the difference between the master's and the PhD application. So, my next question is, how's your experience now as a PhD candidate compared to your being a master's candidate? If you can share
Yeah,
us some.
yeah. Well, I think both positive and negative, but mostly positive, I suppose. Um, I mean, I actually envy when Novi said she can get like student discounts and community because I have none of that. Uh, but yeah, I think for me, if I have to highlight mostly positive, I really like this. As a master student, of course, you have like more. How do I put it this way? More time in a sense where you go to the classes maybe twice or 3 times a week, then you do assignment and you go out with friends and also maybe like have fun and things. But as a PhD, I usually will be and this is my office every day. I mean, you choose not to, you can choose not to do in the office, have a flexible working time, but I prefer to be in the office because it's I have to concentrate, right? And it's very good environment. You have coffee and everything. So. And yeah, and I think yeah, for student like a lot of things are discounted. For the employee it is not, but it I mean we are paid, so it's understandable. what else? And in terms of workload, it's so different, master and PhD. I found it. I always think like bachelor and PhD, master and PhD, same, right? No, it's like bachelor and PhD like this, and master and PhD like this. It's too different. It's different in a way. It's like you have to every day you have to like get lost, go out of your comfort zone, and you don't have like structures at all. Like you don't have like how do I put it? You don't have courses to attend. Although we have courses, we can go and attend, but it's not mandatory. Some are mandatory, but it's very, very little course courses, maybe 5 days in a whole year or something like that. But yeah, and then everything is about your project, and it's like having network, helping, getting helps from different colleagues and different people, but it's also quite fulfilling because you have this kind of you know you you have this kind of like it's your own own thing to do, right? Like it's your own project. This sort of like achievements and little milestone, but it's also very difficult, and could be lonely sometimes, but I try to socialize more because you usually work on the laptop and computer by yourself, but it's good to out at least for lunch or coffee time go out and talk with different people. And for master, again, I think it would be good if I mean I found myself very regretful that I didn't study Norwegian hard enough in master during my master. I was quite happy with my friends, my international friends. We all speak English. We went to the Norwegian classes, but we were just having fun, so we don't really study so much, and we don't really learn that much Norwegian language. And it was fun, but I think if you are going for master in any case, I think that's one thing to integrate into Norwegian culture more, and as well as learn the language. Even if you already can speak well, I think there are cultural nuances, right? You can still learn and try to integrate more there. And I'm doing more now during my PhD, like having different colleagues and Norwegian colleagues. It's also helped me with this a lot. But still, PhD is so stressful. So right now, I'm doing both the things is more stress. So if I could speak Norwegian previously, it would have been better, right? And yeah, I think fundamentally, both are challenging. Master, of course, is also challenging in a way that you probably sometimes have to work part-time. I don't know, depends on like financial situation of each person. But if you're normal, self funded, or even if you get like some sort of scholarship, maybe you might need to work part-time to be able to gain some experience. That will also be hard because then you studying, you are doing assignment and you're also working part-time. That's like quite hard as well. For PhD, yeah, it's like your work and your life is integrated. Your study is integrated like in one big chunk, and you have to manage yourself very, very thoroughly. Otherwise, after 3 years, you are like, I have no idea what my project is. That means that you could totally fail that, and you might not even get like a normal degree, or you could also get fired from the department if you don't do your project well. So there's always good and bad and pros and cons. So yeah, hopefully I don't scare anyone. Please keep on studying master. They are always like fulfilling, even though it's hard, difficult for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Master, I feel fulfilled at the time as well. PhD, I think even more fulfilling and more positive things. And I feel much, how do I put it? Like needier, useful of
More
myself
useful,
in
yeah.
and in this society, that I'm doing something that is useful, right, for me and for the society sort of way. Mm.
Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, it sounds like yeah, you mentioned each has their own challenges, but you weren't prepared by how different those challenges are
Yes.
from masters versus PhD. So
Yeah.
that actually brings us to our my kind of last question before we let you go, Shar. Um, how do you navigate like student life in Norway once you have received your study permit? Like, what's one thing? Like, what's the um, your parting words maybe to our
Yeah.
viewers on how they can survive as
Mm.
a student in Norway?
Yeah, I think for the student master, even like if you consider yourself a student in PhD program, I think having people, right, uh, knowing them and trying to form this kind of network and genuine relationships with them will support you along the way will be, I think, the number one most important thing. Because for me, I was sort of introverted, I don't really talk to people sort of. So when I really apply and okay, I got a study permit. So when I came first time to Norway, there was like a Facebook student group from University of Oslo student. So I was just quietly reading other people sharing, right? And yeah, I think that's like at least they are sharing things and I could reach. But it would have been better, if I could like know them in advance and trying to form this kind of little friendship, so that when I get to here, I will be more welcome, feel more welcome in a sense. So yeah, so I think that will be one thing that I could suggest. And also knowing like a lot of things, because Norway, to be honest, like a lot of unwritten rules, as like Rance and Abby was saying, right? Like, and it's like, for example, even getting like a SIM card could be difficult if you don't know exactly where to go and which place you can get. So yeah, it's not like you know everything online, because online can only say very surface level. So whoever is staying there, even if the future student, potential friends, whoever it is, just ask and ask and ask the questions. And yeah, and also good to ask those people who are like foreign students, if you are a foreign student, because sometimes local students might not know exactly like what is the difficulty of the foreign students. For example, I asked about SIM card, and the local student, oh yeah, you just go and buy the SIM but I don't have bank ID, so I can't. I mean, at that time, they asked me for bank ID, so I was like, I don't have bank ID, so how can I get a SIM card? Then they said, no, no, the other, for example, somewhere you can get with your passport, something like that. So it's like someone will always have a suggestion on you. So knowing people, I think, and just trying to talk more, ask question, and yeah, don't be afraid of that. I think that's one thing I think it will be useful for everyone, I suppose.
Yeah, thanks, Shar. Do you have any other questions, maybe, Abby?
They just switch
No,
off the light here. Oh, yeah.
no, Rance. I'm just thankful for Miss Shar for sharing that it is very important to have build a relationship, especially if you're new here in Norway. It is
Mm,
I agree with her that it's important to build a network for you for enable for you to navigate here in a foreign country. Yeah, thank you so
yes.
much, Shar.
Yeah.
Your insights have been truly helpful in deepening our conversation today. Thank you for stopping by our DigiSeminar this afternoon, and well, hopefully see you again soon.
Yeah. Thank you so
Have a
much,
great
Ranta Abby.
Wednesday.
Yes. Take
Thanks,
care.
Shar. All right. So, yeah, what do you think, Abby?
There's a lot of like information, knowledge that will be very helpful for me and for our aspiring student friends.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. It was an amazing afternoon filled with lots of information and insights from our guest. We know it might be very confusing for you viewers out there. So, yeah, if you'd like a copy of our presentation today, um, to help you guide you in your journey, just leave a comment in our comment section or get in touch via email at info@fhsnorge.org.
And if you'd like to be a volunteer, you can learn more about the Filipino Helping Society in Norway through our website www.fhsnorge.org. On our website, you can also find our regular and upcoming activities related to integration and charity work.
That's right, Abby. We'd actually like to take this time to promote FHS and Team Newbie in Norway's upcoming activities. We have our Digitale Språk Cafe every month, and we also have our monthly DigiSeminar, tips to newbies in Norway, and many more. We also have a physical Språk Cafe, which is now open for everyone every Saturday at 2 p.m. at Tolbugata 8 in Oslo City. And to stay updated on our activities, simply like and follow our Facebook page, facebook.com/fhs.org.no. I think we have pretty much covered everything now, Abby, but do you have
Uh,
any insights? Do you have any insights or, some summary of what you have learned from today's Digi
um,
seminar?
for for me, from what I've learned from Novi and Mishar, it is very important to really prepare early because the time is so fast. So you need to be prepared. Search in internet and also talk to your people around you, and also your prepare your documents, and being financially prepared is also one of the tips that you should put in mind, friends.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Um, I think in terms of preparing the documents, yeah, you mentioned prepare as much in advance. And
Yeah.
uh, as Shar said, when you submit that application, if you have your documents like everything is, already prepared, it will be very easy to
Mm.
just submit your application. It's the preparation in advance that will
Yeah.
take a lot of time, a lot of a lot of planning, and a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and the biggest lesson I learned today was that don't just take the information that you get from
Yeah,
the
don't just
internet.
rely, yeah, in the internet. It's
Yeah, it's best to talk to people like
yeah.
the university itself, and to people who have gone through the experience. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything now. I think it's time to say goodbye to our viewers.
Yes, Ren. So, on behalf of the Philippine Ski Yelpisang Fund in Norge, I would like to thank the great people who put a lot of their effort in preparing for this program, the AHS newbie in Norway, our guests, Novi Labisores and Zen Mishar, and of course, my co host, Rans. And also, I would like to thank all our viewers for watching this program and making it as productive as possible.
Yeah, thank you so much for the privilege of co-hosting this program with you, Abby. I enjoyed it. But for now, hada olasamen. Have a great rest of the week.
Ade allesamen!
Hada!